So the reading agency's a think and do tank, that's how we describe ourselves. And we're only small, we're a small organisation, so our power is in our partnerships, and our key partnership is with public libraries. And we work really closely with public libraries on research, innovation, and the development of shared national reading programmes. So we work with libraries to deliver reading for pleasure and empowerment to over 1 million people every year. And what we do is we focus on practical reading activities that we know work. So that's reading groups, challenges, and reading activism, author events and promotions. So you may have heard of the flagship Summer Reading Challenge, which we deliver with libraries every summer, which reaches over 750,000 children with out-of-school summer reading activity. Our 6-book challenge programme supports less confident readers to start out on exciting new reading journeys. And our Reading Well Health programme, which I'm involved in, ranges from reader-recommended stress-busting novels and poetry of mood-boosting books to the clinically endorsed self-help reading of Reading Well books on prescription. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about these in a moment. And we've just taken on Well Book Night, so we've got book gifting in our portfolio, and I think that's, giving somebody a book can really make them feel better. So we've been doing at the Reading Agency a bit of strategy thinking about the health and wellbeing services that public libraries offer with the Society of Chief Librarians, so with public libraries. And it was largely driven by some research that I did in 2010, which was about mapping public library activity, wellbeing activity. And what that research highlighted was this huge, diverse, very rich library landscape of wellbeing services, wellbeing activities, wellbeing programmes, but the complete lack of any coherent way of talking about the work or of a strategic framework for bringing it all together. So librarians were doing brilliant work, but they couldn't talk about it in an easy and accessible way. And so that meant that libraries were really missing a trick because there was no clear offer to partners or to the public. So having done that bit of strategy thinking, really helped us, the Reading Agency, working with public libraries, to focus in on practical ways in which libraries and partners can work together to harness the power of reading to deliver service support in areas of need. And one of the things that was really apparent to us when we looked at need was that mental health is a key priority. So there's this huge need out there, and with the passing of the Health and Social Care Act, local authorities now have a much greater responsibility for providing local people with better health outcomes. So this means if you align this need and this opportunity, libraries are waiting in the wings, strategically positioned to deliver early intervention, assets and services as part of this new public health commissioning landscape. What we've done is pull together all this best practice into a new pan-England approach that's quality assured and endorsed by health partners. And the model's a really simple one, but it's also very effective. And what it involves is signposting people to an expert-endorsed book list of book-based cognitive behavioural therapy for common mental health conditions such as anxiety and depression, stress, low self-esteem. And all these books are available from public libraries. So the books can be recommended by health professionals such as GPs or counsellors, so you can in fact go to your doctor and get a prescription for a book. But also the value of an expert endorsed list means that people can also safely self-refer and use self-help reading as a first step in getting help. So for some of those 4.5 million, this scheme may be a first step in providing some support. The quality assurance and value for money that a national programme can deliver, but all the benefits of local delivery by public libraries who know their community of users and the right local partners to work with. And it's helping to deliver some really new dynamic funding and delivery partnerships for libraries, particularly with public health. We're about to get going on the first year of the evaluation, but we know that it's working. We've got about 1,600 local prescribers already signed up to the scheme, including GPs, therapists and psychiatrists. And we know that people are borrowing the books in the first quarter. So we launched in June. By October, 100,000 people had borrowed one of the books on this list. And there'd been 145% increase in loans of those core list titles. What's interesting is people are not necessarily handing in prescriptions, whether that's because they're using them as a self-help basis, on a self-help basis, or whether they're using the anonymity of the library space to take advantage of just going in and borrowing a book. We don't quite know, so that's something for us to look at. But what we do know is that the books are going off the shelf. And that there's lots of interest in lots of different places. So libraries are the core delivery partners, but the scheme is also beginning to take place, being run in hospitals, pain clinics, the workplace, the army are interested in it. So there's lots of potential for growth. So, reading, health and libraries are a winning combination, no doubt about it. And what that work is providing a strong collective message that's grabbing the headlines and engaging the interest of the public and health partners. It's great to have a new good news, profile-raising, reading and library story out there. So what are our next steps for Reading Well? Well, we've got this far on really tiny resources, so we're now fundraising for an ambitious 3-year development plan. We've just started work with Society of Chief Librarians on the next phase of Reading Well books on prescription, and that will be a dementia book list and library offer for people with dementia and for carers. And that's funded by the Arts Council, and that will be launched in the autumn. And we're also looking at a national children and young people's list, which we'll be working on early next year. So I'm going to be talking to Warren about the brilliant work that he's doing and seeing where we can join all that up, because it will be a best practice model. And we'll be revising our core book list for 15-16, the common mental health problems list. So there's plenty to keep us busy. And alongside that, there will be parallel mood boosting books developments with 3 new lists, including one recommended by people with dementia and their carers, another second general list, and also we work very closely with Macmillan, so we'll be producing another Macmillan list co-produced with people with experience of cancer. And the other thing we're interested in developing is a community activism volunteering programme linked to it. One of the things I really want to look at is a self-help reading group model, where you're looking at using reading groups to both look at self-help reading and creative fiction. And we need to get the evaluation right to really build the evidence base and ratchet up partner involvement and support. So, loads achieved, lots more to do. Love to talk to you all more about our work, so do get in touch. Thank you.